On behalf of the University, I'd like to extend a very warm welcome to you to this congregation for the conferment of degrees here in our Barony Hall. Today is a very special day in the University calendar. It's a graduation day which makes it a day of celebration for our graduands who are about to become graduates, for all the family, friends and supporters who are about to see their achievements being recognised, and for all of the staff of the University. Now, in a few moments, it will be my privilege to cap each of our graduates as their name is called out and they come up on stage to receive their award. I shall place the graduation cap upon their head, thereby symbolically conferring their degree. The capping tradition has its roots in ancient China, and it's recognised as a rite of passage and as a mark of achievement. And for each of our graduates once capped, this also signifies that they are now part of a community of scholars at the University of Strathclyde, which will stretch back over 200 years to the Scottish Enlightenment. Now, at the start of this morning's ceremony, we have the conferment of an honorary degree. And these are awards that are made by the University to recognise the particular contribution that someone has made during their career. Today's recipient is Duncan Hawthorne, who is a global leader in the power industry, and we shall hear of some of Duncan's achievements during the oration. At the close of the ceremony, we have a reception in our nearby learning and teaching building to which everyone is invited to come along and to celebrate with some refreshments. We also hope to have an academic procession from the Barony to the reception, at which point our newest graduates will join that procession. It normally depends upon the weather, but I think today we're going to be okay. So in the meantime, I do hope that you enjoy the ceremony, and then when you see your loved one come up on stage to receive their award, I would strongly encourage you to celebrate, to cheer, to clap, to holler, make your presence known, because these events only come round once in a lifetime, so please make the most of it. I now formally declare that this congregation for the conferment of degrees is open, and I invite Professor Stephen MacArthur, the Executive Dean of the Faculty of Engineering, to present our honorary graduand to receive his award. Thank you.
Vice Principal, I have the honour and privilege of presenting to you Duncan Hawthorne. Duncan is an internationally recognised expert in the field of nuclear energy. He has held numerous senior positions in the UK, United States and Canada. I will be telling you about his highly successful career spanning more than 4 decades. During this, he has led significant complex nuclear operational construction projects, carried out many complex commercial transactions, created new corporate organisations, and been a member of government and industry advisory and leadership forums to support and promote the nuclear industry. His efforts have been recognised through a series of global awards and recognitions, and he has gained a strong reputation as a straight-talking and approachable industry leader. He is an MBA graduate from Strathclyde and was previously recognised as Strathclyde's Alumnus of the Year. We are celebrating a person who embodies all of our values at the University of Strathclyde. He is a role model for anyone who aspires to be successful in engineering and has demonstrated boldness and ambition in his career, while clearly being people-oriented and supporting those around him. He came from a shipbuilding family on the Clyde, and the early stage of his career was focused on proving to himself that he had the capability, skills and confidence to move forward in the workplace and in his career. This started with his early engineering training and work at the Hunterston Nuclear Power Station. He progressed through various stages, including graduate trainee, engineering manager, maintenance manager, and section head. In his own words, he describes this as starting by being in the my business, then moving to the we and us business. This was his early recognition that technical skills and engineering proficiency took you so far, but beyond that, success comes from developing the people around you. He always valued practical skills and understanding alongside academic knowledge. He describes, in his own unique way, how some graduates turned up in his team knowing how to calculate the square root of a jar of beetroot, but having no idea how to open the jar. He does quickly add that this wouldn't be a Strathclyde graduate. As his career developed, he became the Director of Business Improvement, Safety and Quality for British Energy. When you talk to Duncan, he will tell you that his approach was always to take roles that challenged you, even if you hadn't done anything like it before. He was always willing to work on things that were challenging or had risk involved with them. He knew that the ability to manage the risk and challenge helped you to develop as an engineering and commercial leader. In taking this approach, in 1997 he was appointed as President of Amergen, then Chief Operating Officer of British Energy North America and an Executive Board Member of British Energy. In this role, he was leading a joint team of staff drawn from both British Energy and Exelon Energy to acquire nuclear power plants across the USA. This was a very exciting time for the industry, and the acquisition of 3 nuclear plants was groundbreaking, since no ownership change had ever taken place on nuclear plants before. From 2000 to 2016, Duncan was President and Chief Executive Officer of Bruce Power in Ontario, Canada. He led the transition of the ownership of the Bruce Power plant and found suitable investors for this nuclear facility, which had 8 reactors on site. 4 were performing poorly and 4 had been switched off for 20 years. His key challenge was to recover all of them. This amounted to a series of very complex and novel engineering approaches and a programme of work that lasted for 15 years. During this period, he also had to lead negotiations with the Ontario government around power purchase agreements, to lead discussions with regulators on restarting the reactors, and had to work with the local community to gain the social acceptance for such a major work programme. This included gaining support from local First Nation communities who have a number of treaty rights and particular concerns about waste management and storage. When Duncan retired from Bruce Power in 2016, his focus and leadership had led to the successful restarting of all 8 reactors, making the Bruce Power facility the largest nuclear power facility in the world. He also delivered the contract negotiation with the Ontario government that ensured the operation of this 8-unit site until 2064. This was valued at $250 billion and represented the largest power purchase agreement ever signed. His achievement was very nicely summed up by the Bruce Power chairman. He said, "You turned Bruce Power from a nuclear station running at half capacity to a company with a 50-year future." I remember visiting Bruce Power in Toronto once and being invited to a Toronto business breakfast where there was a joint presentation from the Chief Medical Officer and Duncan. The Chief Medical Officer was praising Duncan's leadership and the Bruce Power successes. This was because it allowed Ontario to shut down coal-fired power plants, and Duncan's reinvigoration of Bruce Power was directly linked to a reduction in child asthma within the province. This is a great example of how a net zero energy journey delivers real impacts on health and society. From 2016 to 2021, Duncan led Horizon Nuclear Power as Chief Executive Officer and was a non-executive board member of Hitachi Energy. He's currently an executive energy advisor and board member at Hitachi Energy. Duncan is a great believer in using his success to give back to society. He is fully supporting the university as a chairman of our Advanced Nuclear Research Centre. He has also generously supported research in the areas of nuclear energy and also autism. He and his wife Leslie are also patrons to a hospice, a medical centre and the Unity with Autism charity. He's highly regarded and decorated in his profession and was awarded a Fellowship of the Royal Academy of Engineering in 2021, the World Association Nuclear Excellence Award in 2019 and Canadian Energy Person of the Year in 2014. He also received the Leader of the Year Award in 2000 from the US nuclear energy industry, and he was President of the World Association of Nuclear Operators from 2009 until 2011. And in 2011, Duncan was awarded the Queen's Jubilee Medal for his service to the nuclear industry. In conclusion, Duncan is a world-class example of engineering expertise and leadership driving success. He embodies all of Strathclyde's values. He is ambitious, particularly for others, people-oriented, bold, innovative and collaborative. He's a great role model for all our graduands and graduates. Therefore, it is with great pleasure, Vice Principal, that with the authority of Senate, I asked you to confer upon Duncan Hawthorne the degree of Doctor of Science, honoris causa.
I create you Doctor of Science, honoris causa. Many congratulations and welcome back to the university.
Thank you so much, Stephen. I can't begin to tell you how proud I am to receive this award, and I'm sure all of you who are receiving your degree today will remember the day as a very special day, as will I. So I want to thank the university staff and faculty for the way they've treated us today and for helping us through some interesting careers. In my case, I'm asked to come here and say some words of inspiration and guidance to all the people graduating today. And when I listen to the script that Stephen just read out, there's part of me believes he's talking about someone else. It's not me at all. Because the reality is that was a long journey and never did I plan it. It's not the way it works. But what I can tell you is that you will all leave here today with 3 things that will serve you well in the future. First, you'll leave with a very comprehensive toolkit. And I call it a toolkit because of the whole mantra of the university being useful learning. There's no point in having a set of skills that have no applicability in the external world. And that's not what you've achieved. The graduation that you have, the quality of teaching you've had, gives you a set of tools. It's important to remember that. The second thing you all leave with today is potential. Potential to do great things. Maybe things that you never even imagined that you would do. And the third thing you'll leave with is a passport. I can tell you, and you probably heard in the commentary, I've worked all over the world and I've encountered Strathclyde graduates everywhere I've gone. And that's important. And I'm sure that if I spoke to every one of them, they would not have been able to tell you as they sat here at their graduation that that's where they would have ended up. It's a journey that is not a straight line, and where you go is a function of where you want to travel. I can remember the first time I signed a management contract here in Scotland. At the time it was with Scottish Nuclear, and it was a personal contract. And I met with the head of HR, and he said, you have to make sure you read all the clauses in this. And I said, well, I have. And there's one that kind of bothers me. It says I can go anywhere the company sends me. And he said, well, I don't know what you're worried about, Duncan. We have one power station in Ayrshire at Hunterston. The other one's at Torness. And our headquarters is in East Kilbride. So where do you think we're going to send you? And I reminded them of that the day I flew back from Pennsylvania to recommend that the company should acquire its first international nuclear power station. It was a long way from East Kilbride head office. And that power station was called 3 Mile Island. And I remembered some wag at the board saying, for our first international nuclear venture, you're looking to acquire 3 Mile Island. What have you been smoking over in America? But the reality is, when you know our nuclear industry, you know there's always a deeper story to be told. And 3 Mile Island was and still is one of the best performing pressurized water reactors in the world. And really, I think my message to you all is, a lot of people believe if you're in the nuclear business, you can't take risks. That's not true. And it's not true in your personal career either. Risks create opportunity. And your ability to assess risk and take a few of them in your own career as you seek to develop yourself. I think I would tell you, when I look back at my career, it was all about the willingness to, what they say, the freedom to try and the courage to fail. I think that's a very important mantra for all young graduates. And the last thing I'll say, or else I'll speak for an hour, is that one important thing I learned, as Stephen mentioned, I started my career as a craftsman in the industry. And I remember well young graduates arriving full of their academic knowledge and failing to recognize that expertise exists at all levels in every organization. And the best way to progress your career is to seek out expertise wherever it exists and learn from those people. Because 3 things you've got are really important: toolkit, potential, and a passport. But the one thing you don't yet have is experience. And the best way to acquire that experience is to pick it up wherever you find it and use it in your career, because that will speed your progress and it will earn you respect in the workplace. Thank you all.
Vice Principal, in the name of the University and by the authority of Senate, I present to you these students. For the degree of Doctor of Engineering in Non-Destructive Evaluation, Ewan Foster. For the degree of Doctor of Philosophy for Research in the Department of Electronic and Electrical Engineering, Abdul Rahman Samir Ali Alassi. William Thomas Coventry. Ewan Durnberger. Ji Wong Feng. Callum Henderson. Brian Alexander Jenkins. Shafika Kedar. Tian Lan. Grant Leishman. Ricky Lee. Di Liu. Ting Liu. Charalampos Lucas. Peter Lukács. David Meek Murray. Stephen Okwudili Ugwuananyi. Tanya Eugenie Kirkpatrick Wallace. Robert James Watson. Chris Williamson. Panagiotis Zakaris. Bang Hao Zhu. For the degree of Master of Science in Electrical Power and Energy Systems, Yatin Sanjay Patel. In Electronic and Electrical Engineering, Gauri Goenka. Yash Srivastav. In Future Energy and Power System Operation and Management, Yuk Hung Mao. Ho Nam Yu. For the degree of Master of Engineering in Computer and Electronic Systems, Chloe Allen. Mateusz Duszniewski. Erin Ann Greenshields. Stuart John Hamilton. Freya Rachel Fletcher Hill. Callum Paul Manning. Callum McElraith. Eve Ann Wrigley. Callum Thomas Summers. In Computer and Electronic Systems with International Study, Benjamin Chi Hain Shek. In Electrical and Mechanical Engineering, Chris Ash. Oswin Nathan Ashwood. Talha Bashir. Struan Harry Kant. Gregor Chow. Matthew William Clark. Callum Fergus. Nathan Oliver Gilmore. Ross Thomas Hendry. Michael Kerr. Dominic Latchkep. Finlay John Francis Lodge. James Alexander Spalding MacLeod. Kenneth David MacLeod. Daniel Matthew A. Maguire. Andrew James Jeffrey Ribbons. John Frank Andrew William Scott. Joshua Sherwood. Finlay Adam Smith. Martin Stoichkov. Amrit Singh Supra. Gibson Varghese. In Electrical and Mechanical Engineering with International Study, Shay Alexander Boland. Patrick John Canning. Maxwell Brandon Fawcett. Joe Jason Henthorne. Stephen Wilson Lee. Ewan Forrest Mayer. Michael Neil McDougall. Fraser Moody. Dennis Ocampo Guevara. Tin Lon Jordan Young. In electronic and electrical engineering, Robbie Alexander. Logan Ross Clark. Ross Peter Craig. Nathan Curry. Giuseppe Pio Divona. Martin Detalinov Dimov. Cody Gallagher. Ailey Rachel Hamilton. Jonas Matthias Hennig. Kamar Ilyas. Robert Attila Inchsey. Georgios Kolakidis. Jasper Laje. Christopher Andrew Love. Dean McMillan. Peter Timothy Morgan. Jakub Olszewski. James Plender. Sabur Rashid. Ashley Reid. Robert Kenneth Reid. Adam James Simeonidis. Tom Alexander Smith. In electronic and electrical engineering with business studies, Patrick Kennedy Malone. In electronic and electrical engineering with international study, Maria Cassidy. Gavin Kitching. For the degree of Bachelor of Engineering in Computer and Electronic Systems, Matthew Thomas Clark. Andrea Constantinou. Graham Robert Aim. Lewis Thomas Henderson Beveridge. Ivelo Petrov Ivanov. In Electrical and Mechanical Engineering, Brandon Alexander Calder. Eliane Heafy. Lisa Petrie. Finlay Gardner Rollo. Ross Alexander Duncan. Cormac Ian Gregg. John James Higgins. Liam Mitchell. Abdullah Shafiq. Jonash Tokar. Christopher Houston. Ryan Kerr. Arno Lopart Molina. Mark MacDonald Sanderson. Daniel James Smith. Jack James Taylor. Morgan Elizabeth Joyce. Stuart Murray. In Electronic and Electrical Engineering, Xu Ying Chen. Ting Yuan Gu. Callum Isbister. Rachel McKinley. Taylor Stone Phillips. Ryan Johnston Proven. Heather Waddle. Fang Yuan Wong. Ji Wei. Connor Ian Anderson. Rory Chalmers. Rachel Hewitt. Alistair Cameron Kalik. Shihao Lee. Fraser Thomas Murray. Emma Pratt. Xiang Shi. Yang Tang. Oh. Ryan Lewis Tinney. Guan Chiao Wong. Khalifa Danjuma Ibrahim. Morgan Leatherbarrow. Yung Ki Lin. Hao Hong Liu. Patrick McDade. Emma MacDonald. Corey McNally. Peter Kieran Murphy. Anthony Taylor. Akib Uddin. Andrew Waddle. Tim Hsu. Ling Yi Zhang. Cheng Yi Zhu. Matthew Clark. Rostislav Nikolaev Nikolov. Hannah Charlotte Skinner. For the degree of Bachelor of Engineering in Computer and Electronic Systems, Insane Akram Mohsin Ali. For the degree of Bachelor of Engineering in Electronic and Electrical Engineering, Yuhan Zhang.
Ladies and gentlemen, colleagues, and most of all, Strathclyde University's newest graduates. It is my pleasure to once again welcome you to this congregation. Our graduates have been centre stage, and I would like to begin my address by congratulating all of you once again on your academic achievements. Your hard work has paid off, and this has now been formally recognised in front of your families, friends, and the staff who taught and supported you during your time at the university. Let's give our graduates of 2023 a big round of applause. Now, in a short while, you may be asked to join the academic procession as this leaves the Barony Hall, provided the weather stays pleasant. But this invitation, it actually symbolises the fact that you are now full members of the academic community of Strathclyde, a worldwide community that numbers nearly 200,000 individuals. You will now join such esteemed company as David Livingstone, the missionary and explorer, John Logie Baird, who invented television, Dame Eilish Angelini, Scotland's first female Lord Advocate, Helen Liddell and Baroness Annabel Goldie, leading Scottish politicians, and the entrepreneur and philanthropist Sir Tom Hunter. Now today, we are celebrating your achievements and do recognise that the last 3.5 years have been particularly challenging, and you have shown great resilience and determination to arrive at this special day. When we reflect on the pandemic, this challenged our health systems, it impacted on our economies, and it also changed the way in which we work and study. Yet this has also demonstrated what society can achieve when we work together, and it placed science at the forefront of finding the solutions to the challenges that we face. It was science and universities that delivered vaccines for the COVID-19 virus in record time. And it is science, engineering and education that will help us to address other pressing issues such as climate change. As a university community, we are very much aware of our responsibilities to reducing our impact on the planet. We've set a target to reduce our carbon emissions to reach net zero before 2040. Now, to our graduates who are celebrating today, each of you will have benefited from the active support of your families, friends and supporters, and academically through your lecturers, tutors and supervisors. For the past half hour or so, their applause has rung in your ears as you each in turn cross this stage to receive your awards. I would now like to invite all of our graduates to show their appreciation for all the support that they have received from their family and friends. Your success, and in turn our success as a university, is in no small part due to the efforts of our staff, who are delivering our vision as a leading international technological university that is socially progressive. You can tell a lot about the values of our organisation simply by looking at its roots. Strathclyde University traces its lineage back to 1796, when Anderson brought it into being, the only Scottish university founded during the Age of Enlightenment, and embodying the Enlightenment principles of reason, tolerance and equality. Anderson's belief in useful learning and his commitment to taking knowledge and using this for the greater good is the motivating force which gives Strathclyde University its momentum today. Anderson believed in knowledge for the greater good and education for all, what we would call widening access and participation. Strathclyde University is at the forefront of widening access to higher education by welcoming those with the ability to learn, regardless of their personal circumstances, and now 20% of our new students each year come from the most challenging areas of the country. Our ethos of useful learning continues to be relevant today as we seek new knowledge that we can readily apply to global challenges. We are a research-intensive university determined to make a positive difference to the lives of our students, to society, and to the world. Through our groundbreaking research, we are helping to change the world for the better. Through our scientists and engineers, we are leading the development of innovative technologies that will facilitate the transition from fossil fuels to clean, sustainable energy sources such as wind, solar, geothermal, and hydrogen. We are developing new drugs along with new manufacturing processes that will provide cheaper, more effective treatments in the fight against cancer, kidney disease, and inflammatory disease, whilst also supporting the health service to face the challenges of health and social care and the changing demographics of the 21st century. Through our focus on entrepreneurial education, we are helping students and staff to create new sustainable businesses, as well as supporting economic growth. We are growing Scotland's manufacturing capabilities near Glasgow Airport, where the National Manufacturing Institute for Scotland, hosted by Strathclyde, was opened last week. In the near future, we will be building another innovation centre, named in honour of one of the most successful alumni that we have, businessman Dr. Charles Wang, who donated £50 million to Strathclyde, an extremely generous gift given in recognition of the role that this university played in his success. £30 million of this gift will be used to enhance the university's technology and innovation zone, allowing more businesses to co-locate with the university and improve productivity, develop world-class talent, research and technology, and accelerate economic growth. The remainder of the gift will enable the creation of 2 professorial chairs, in international entrepreneurship and in international innovation and business, along with support for research and PhD students. Our globally minded students and staff are also working in sustainable development and helping to address some of the inequalities in India, Malawi, and the Gambia by establishing clean water supplies, renewable power sources, and healthcare facilities. We understand the value of working in partnership as we extend our global reach with other leading universities, including Stanford, New York University, MIT, and the National University of Singapore. As a university, we are continually working to enhance our student experience, investing in our campus, as evidenced by our new learning and teaching building and student union. And we are investing in student mental health and wellbeing support services, placing our students at the heart of everything that we do. Our progress in these areas has been recognised in recent years, and we are the only UK university to win the Times Higher Education University of the Year twice. And in 2022, we received our 3rd Queen's Anniversary Award for our leadership in advanced manufacturing. The UK-wide assessment of research quality among the UK's 157 universities and higher education institutions has reported that nearly 90% of Strathclyde's research has been assessed as being world-leading or internationally excellent. Strathclyde engineers have been working with energy storage company Storterra to improve the efficiency of an innovative battery system that could offer reliable, low-cost, low-carbon power to homes and businesses in sub-Saharan Africa. Early results of the project have indicated reduced production costs of between 50% and 70%. Professor Harold Haas, Director of Strathclyde's Li-Fi Research and Development Centre, was recently appointed to the advisory board of the UK-wide Telecoms Innovation Network. Malawi's first smart-metered solar-powered microgrid has been installed in the village of Mthambanje with the support of Strathclyde's electrical engineers. This microgrid provides electricity to a local primary school, enabling additional classes to take place, resulting in a 5-fold increase in local primary pupils progressing to high school. Dr. Auguste Aguia Alvarez of Tripoli has been awarded the Royal Academy of Engineering Industrial Fellowship to undertake collaborative research with Scottish Power to investigate converter control and high-voltage DC systems. And Professor Ming Zhang in Electronic and Electrical Engineering has been awarded a £1.3 million European research grant to support aircraft electrification using novel superconducting machine technology. Now, these are just some of the many achievements that have been made by our staff and our students. And Strathclyde is being increasingly recognised as a place where things happen, and this is why our graduates are so highly prized by companies and organisations who are looking to recruit the best talent to drive their businesses forward. Our success is in no small part due to the collective efforts, talent and commitment of our staff, the 4,000 colleagues who deliver our vision as a leading international technological university, and like me, they are very proud of your achievements. All of our students learn how to be innovative, enterprising and creative, and they make a real difference when they go out into the workplace. So go forth with confidence, with purpose, and with the knowledge that you are capable of great things. And wherever your career takes you, always remember that as a Strathclyde graduate, useful learning carries with it responsibilities that go beyond academic scholarship. And finally, let me offer my sincerest congratulations to you all once again on your achievements, and I hope that you enjoy the remainder of what is a very special day. Thank you. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that has now concluded the formal part of this morning's proceedings, which I hope you've enjoyed and you're able to take away very many happy memories. We will have a reception in our Learning and Teaching building, which you're all invited to. The weather outside is nice, so I'll take the opportunity to invite Strathclyde University's newest graduates to join the academic procession. And ladies and gentlemen, if you could remain in the hall until the academic procession passes, and then immediately follow us up to the reception in the Learning and Teaching building, and we shall see you there. I now formally declare that this congregation for the conferment of degrees is closed.